Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Leanne, and today I've got some really fun and easy budget-friendly DIYs to share with you. We're going to be using Dollar Tree and Hobby Lobby items and just stuff I had on hand. So super budget-friendly, but yeah, let's get started with the DIYs. All right, so for this first one, it's very quick. It's hardly even a DIY, but I have these ornaments from Hobby Lobby. They come in a 6-pack. You can see the price was $2.99. I think I picked them up when they were 50% off, so it was $1.50. But now their stuff is even 60% off, so really good price for that. And then I have these window clings. These came in a 2-pack from Dollar Tree, and these ones, I don't really know how they work as window clings because they're actually sticky like stickers, and they're puffy. But either way, they're cute. And I'm just sticking some of these on either side. I'm gonna have a mini tree kind of in my kitchen area, and I'm trying to do some like gingerbread themes. So I thought these were really cute, and like I said, super simple. I'll show you all of the finished DIYs at the end of the video. Moving on to our next one, I have this little sign from fall time, but they have them at different seasons. And then these 3 tree cutouts and some tumbling tower blocks. So I'm going to start by attaching the tumbling tower blocks to our Christmas trees. We just need a wider surface at the bottom to attach these later on. And so I'm just using some hot glue. And as you can see, this doesn't actually cause them to stand up. They're still like top heavy and would fall forward, but that's okay. We're not needing them to stand up freely. If you are new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. I love sharing budget-friendly DIYs here on this channel. I try to keep them easy and simple. And so yeah, I'd love it if you would stick around. We're going to paint each of our trees a different color. I'm going to do one in white. I'm using all Waverly chalk paint, but you can use anything. But I'm going to use white, crimson, and fern. And I'm just going to paint one coat, but I'm going to paint all the front, the sides, and the back, just because I want the back of the sign to look finished. And you could sand these down. These pieces have pretty rough edges, but I'm not really worried about it because I kind of go for a little bit more of a rustic feel anyway. So yeah, that's just fine. And while I had my white paint out, I wanted to get going on the base. So I'm just taking this piece out here. This I did take 2 coats of the paint to cover it and make sure it is fully dry in between, because it has kind of like a glossy coating on top. And so if you don't make sure it's fully dry, it will peel the paint back off as you do a second coat. I think I may have already asked this on my community tab, but I'm curious, have you guys already started decorating for Christmas, or do you like to wait until after Thanksgiving? I definitely have started, not as early as I was planning to, but I will definitely be finished decorating before Thanksgiving. But I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. If you don't normally see my community tab posts, they should show up in your subscriptions if you are subscribed to my channel and you're viewing from like your phone. But on a computer, you really have to actually go to someone's homepage and then go to the community tab. But I do post things there and some polls and try to get some insight from you guys. And one of the things I did a poll on there was about doing a live craft with me. So let me know down below what you think about that, if that's something that you would be interested in. So now that everything is dry, I'm taking the white tree and I'm just using an Elmer's glue stick. Kristen K often does this when instead of Mod Podge, she uses the glue stick. So I thought I would give it a try, and it worked really well with the tissue paper. I'm using the snowman tissue paper that I've had on hand. I don't know where I got it from, probably from Dollar Tree, but I'm not sure. And it was nice because I was actually able to peel it up and move it because I didn't like where I had it at first. I wanted to make sure that there was at least some complete snowmen that were going to be on the tree when it was all said and done. And then I'm just going to trim that down and let that fully dry. And then I wanted to give this technique a try where you use a lighter and it just kind of follows along the shape. It worked out pretty good. I had never done it before. I'm not sure why, but it kind of discolored the edges. I don't know if it had to do with the glue I was using. So I did go around and touch up with some white paint. But I will definitely try that technique again. You could also just use some sandpaper. Just make sure you use the sandpaper going in away from the paper so you don't lift up on it, and make sure it's fully dry first. And then while I had my paintbrush out, I wanted to do some white kind of dry brushing along the edges on the red and green tree. I did the edges and then a little bit across the front of them as well. And now we're going to attach these to our base. I'm using some super glue gel along with some hot glue. The hot glue just kind of holds it in place immediately, but the super glue gel will help it hold more long term. And I just kind of figured out where I wanted to place these. So you can see the back of these is not necessarily intended to be seen, but I wanted it to have that finished look just in case it was seen. I didn't want to leave it bare on the back. I'm going to place the snowman tissue paper white Christmas tree in the middle, and I'm just going to have it overlapping a little bit in the front. So I'm making sure to put a little bit of glue on those bottom tips of the tree so that it will attach to the red and green tree as well. It'll just give it some added security. And then I wanted to add a little extra detail. So I have these wooden snowflakes. I'll show you the package in the next DIY so you can see where they came from. But I just pulled 5 of them out, used a baby wipe and some antique wax to stain them, and then I'm dry brushing a little bit of white paint that was left over on my paintbrush. And then I'm just going to use some super glue gel very carefully, trying not to glue my hands, although I did a little bit. But I'm just going to glue those across the bottom, and I thought that that added a nice little detail. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out so much. It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying my videos, which makes them more likely to share my videos with others. For our last DIY, I have this metal tree sign from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to give it a couple coats of this green paint. It is called Fern, and it is from Waverly Chalk Paint. And with painting metal, you really just need to make sure that it fully dries in between each coat because it will just peel back up off of the metal surface. There is a hole at the top of this tree, but we'll be covering that up, so it's really not a big deal. But if you do yours a little differently, you might want to fill that in first. And I'm using my hair dryer to dry it in between coats. I just recommend using a cool setting because sometimes some paint can crack, and I'm not really sure why it does sometimes and why it doesn't others. I don't know if it has to do with the paint I'm using or the surface it's painted on, or maybe a combination, but I just used a cool setting and that worked great. So I painted both sides with 2 coats. And then I have this wood piece. This was from the Dollar Tree in the Crafter's Square, and I'm just going to paint the edges and the top with a Waverly Chalk paint in the color white. And this wood, it took the paint really well, and I just had to do 1 coat, so that was a really quick process. So these are those snowflakes that I used in the last DIY. I picked them up at Hobby Lobby. Again, $3.99 was the original price, but you can get it 50 to 60% off depending on when you grab them, and there's a ton in there. So I will have these probably for a couple of years. And I'm just using this gold metallic paint, and I pulled out 2 of them because this sign again is going to be one-sided, but I wanted it to look okay from both sides. So we're going to paint both snowflakes with the gold paint, and then when I flip it over, the second side we're going to put on some glitter while the paint is still wet. You could also just put on some Mod Podge, but I thought this would be easy. And I just have this, it's kind of like a rose gold glitter. I didn't want to buy new glitter because I don't use glitter that often, but I have like 2 colors. So if I want to use glitter, that's what I'm going to use. So I just added that while the paint was still wet, just on one side of them. And we'll come back to those in a second. I painted the edges of a Jingle block and used some super glue gel and wood glue to attach that. You want to use the super glue gel for sure because the metal, like hot glue, doesn't hold super great on metal. And I Mod Podge both sides of this as well because I didn't want the paint to scrape off of the metal tree. And you'll see a little bit of white here because it's not fully dry. I'm just trying to keep moving along. Same thing with the snowflakes. I did put a little bit of Mod Podge on them as well, just so that the glitter wouldn't fall everywhere. And I'm just going to line them up and glue those on both sides, making sure that the hole on the tree is covered. And then we'll use some super glue gel and hot glue once again. It's a good combo. You could use other glues, whatever, works well for you. But we're going to glue that to the center. And then I felt like it looked just a little bit bare. And so I just took these little bottle brush trees. These are from the Dollar Tree. They come in like maybe a 6-pack, and they come in different colors. They have green and gold, white, and silver, I think is what I've seen. And I'm just going to glue a few of those on the front as well, just because I felt like it needed something else. Here is how my DIYs came out. These are how the ornaments came out. I love them. I think they're so simple and cute, and they're going to be great with my gingerbread theme that I've got going on. And then this is the tree trio, and I think this will be a nice layering piece on my shelf. I might actually use it on the shelf where I'm showing it to you, but I don't have that decorated yet with anything else. And then this last one, I think this came out, again, kind of a nice layering piece, and really could work for even in the winter, because it's just kind of, you know, that just green pine tree feel. Anyways, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.